morning everyone, welcome to our second video. Today we will try to answer the following questions. First we will ask, why is it difficult to solve environmental problems? What is system? What are system diagrams? Which symbols we use to practice system diagrams? And what are the feedbacks in system diagrams? So let's get started. As we said before, environmental science is about everything. It is the study of how we and other species interact with one another and with the non-living environment. It is about relationship between matter and energy. It includes all sorts of science, physics, chemistry, biology, ecology, geology, economics, politics, sociology, psychology, ethics. It is about everything. And that makes the environmental science is very difficult. If you have an environmental problem, it is very hard to solve. So let's think about it. You have an environmental problem and you make a hypothesis. You want to test your hypothesis, but the variables are too many. And there are too many interactions, too many known and unknown interactions. Also, the scale of the problem is very big. The populations are very big, the species, pollutions, tons of soils you need to measure. Also, environmental factors take over time, take centuries. If, for example, if there's a pollution today, the effects of this pollution that we may start to see may take centuries. So it is very, very hard to predict. So what we do to study environmental science, we do our best and we follow the trends, we estimate, and we rely on models. We develop models to solve the problem. Models are a representation or simulation of a system that we are studying. For example, if you are an architect and if you are studying a house, you develop a model. And that is the model of our Earth. It's a little map. So we use images, we use other shapes to make the model. For Earth, it is very difficult to make a model. So instead, what we do, so for Earth, that is the Milky Way, and it says we are right here. It is like middle of nowhere, that is our Earth, isolated. And to study the Earth, an environmental system in the Earth, we take the Easter Island model. Easter Island is an island that is far from the Chile. It is in the Pacific Ocean. It is like middle of nowhere. And what scientists find about this island is the ecosystem collapse here. It took them 2,000 years to collapse the environment, their interactions with environment, and the population of people decreases rapidly. And scientists study this Easter Island. That is going to be our topic for tomorrow. So Easter Island is the model for our environmental studies for the Earth. I forgot one thing here. Oh, that's one model. That's one correlation model. For example, we make a relationship. Scientists say, as the carbon dioxide level increases, the temperature increases, the global temperature increases. Then they make a relationship. So they say, okay, the carbon dioxide level should be related to global temperatures. And you know that's how they make a relationship between global warming. So what is a system? What is a system? System is a group of parts which are connected and work together. Like your body is a system because your organs are connected and work together. Systems with living and non-living parts are called ecosystem. It is short for the ecological systems. So we will talk about ecosystems here. how do we visualize systems? In order to visualize it, we will use diagrams. We will use system diagrams. They are quantitative informations that we can add the computer system, so the computers can give us a simulated results about our system. This is one visualizing the system. This is a system diagram. So you see the flow of the information coming and going. This is a sample for the environmental problems, because as we said before, environmental problems are very difficult to solve because there are so many variables, so many interactions, so many unknowns. So you start adding the informations here, adding the numerical values here, and then you start the simulation with your data. So let's try to simplify this system. We put input like matter, energy. These are the inputs that entering the system. And then there's the flow of matter, energy, or information in the system. And then we get the output, which is what is leaving the system. So let's give an example here. This is our system, this tree. This is our system. We will study the input, throughput, and output. What is input here? The water is an input for our tree system. Also, the carbon dioxide from the air is an input. Like light, the energy from the sun is an input. All these come together, and these arrows are the flow of this input. They come together in the system, they make photosynthesis. And what are our outputs? It is oxygen and sugar. To get the sugar, we also need minerals and nutrients from the soil, which is also part of input. So that's how we study the system diagram for a tree. Which symbols we use? So Howard Odum developed these symbols before. For example, if it is a source, we use a circle. We will do more practices. I'm going to add one more slide here. For example, sun, water, wind, wood. These are sources, forests, soil. There are sources, and we use a circle shape. That's energy loss. For example, here it shows the energy goes to the soil. This is the storage. For example, lake, water storages. Or agriculture. It stores the sun energy. That is the interaction. This is the flow. Which way does interaction goes? The arrow shows the way of interaction. That's the switch. So in some part we can control it. We can control the interaction between the matter. This is generic flow. This is consumption. For example, humans are consumers in the system, or animals are consumers in the system. And this shape, this is for the production. So when we use, for example, plants, forests, these are our producers. So we are going to use this for the production. That is self-limiter. And this symbol is for the transaction. So for example, the energy goes this way, and the energy goes this way is not similar. If there is any system that we are studying, we are going to use this. So let me show one more example. Sun, wind, rain, fuel. These are all sources, so we use circles here. The energy comes from sources. We use the arrow here. These are natural systems, which is plants here. These are our producers, so we use the producers here. This is our boundary. If you want to draw a boundary, this is the boundary. This is the energy waste energy. These are people, our consumers, government, consumers. Money, storage. You store the money in the bank. So these are something that we are going to practice in the future. So this is how system diagram. For example, we put pupil as a source for this system. So you see the boundary here. We also the pupil are also resources for economy, right? So we need more people to go shopping, to use more cars, to travel more. So there will be consumers also. This is one example of system diagram. I added the information here so you can go and check when you need to use system diagram. There will be a homework there. There are two more things we need to study, which is balance in nature. The balance in nature is called homeostasis. It is the balance or equilibrium in the system. And the environment use feedbacks for that. For example, if you are very hot, if your body temperature increases, you start the cooling process. So you start a feedback here. Or if your temperature decreases, you start shivering and your body temperature increases. These are the signs for the feedback. We call it negative feedback and positive feedback. I'm going to give you one more example here. So if negative feedback are counteracts change. One is increasing, the other is decreasing. If that is the case in the system, we call it negative feedback. For example, population increase, food sources decrease. Population increase, forests decrease, forest areas decrease. Population increase, number of fisheries decrease. That is a negative feedback. One increases, one decreases. And positive feedback are like snowball effects. They affect each other. One is increasing, the other is increasing. For example, human birth increase, population increase. Population increase, waste production increase. Population increase, transportation increase. That is how the positive feedback goes. They both increase together. And that's all for today. I added here more examples if you would like to go through. So for example, pesticides. You use chemicals for pesticides. They increase resistance. You add more pesticides, you increase resistance. You have more pest problem. You use more chemicals. It increases resistance. So that is a positive feedback because increase resistance, increase pesticides. That's a positive feedback. That's another example for positive feedback. You build more highway, more transportation, more commuter, they use more gasoline, and then you add more tax to gasoline, you build more highways. So that is also a positive feedback. So for today, I'm gonna add you one more video to watch in your spare time to make the topic more clear, and you will use system diagrams tomorrow for your homework. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye for now.